So recently, we have been checking out these cars in GTA 5. All of these cars, and there are still more to come by the way, all of these cars are from the Chum Bucket mod pack, which is basically a mod pack full of unfinished lore-friendly car mods. And these cars are great. It's great to see just a bunch more lore-friendly cars. However, they don't really have tuning parts, as we've seen recently. We've basically had to deal with paint, wheels, and slam to try and get a specific look. Well, I thought we would use menus mod today with the object spooner function and combine it with these. I thought it'd be fun to try and turn some of these into crazy off-roaders. I'm not sure how many are going to work, but we're going to give it a try. So let's just see how we go with this thing. It could be absolutely terrible. Or brilliant, who knows. So first of all, what I want to do with all of these desert raids is remove all of the body panels. And the reason why I've picked these is because when we go to menus customs and we go to doors, we can go to remove, and we can basically remove both the doors and also the hood, which is this whole front section, and the trunk, which is this whole rear section. And it basically turns it into an almost bare bones shell. Now, if we go to extras, we can get rid of these wheels at the back, and we basically are left with just this, which I think is a great thing to use as a basis to make a cool off-roader. So, because these are quite long, I have a feeling that the Huesca and maybe a couple of these other short ones might not work, but I want to try with the Huesca first. So, let's go and get the Huesca. We want to go to menus customs and get rid of the wheels first of all, because we don't really want an extra set of wheels in here. We just want that, like that, perfect. And then we go to attachment options, and we are going to attach it to our orange desert raid that we have right here. And here we are. And now what we can do, and I have a feeling, as I said, this one's a little bit small, we can then adjust the positioning to get it exactly where we want. And yes, yeah, it's too small. I mean, it's definitely a look, because we can combine the front there, but yeah, it looks a bit odd. So I think it's probably best to just say that one doesn't work and just delete it. So I think actually we should just go through these one by one and see if they fit. So next up, we'll try the Kentish. And yeah, this Kentish is very, very small. It does not work. So let's try the Wombat. This is a little bit more promising, but I don't know. I don't think this one's going to work too well either. We can definitely get something out of this. I mean, we have this at the back here, so I know that the average long car probably won't work, and in fact, we could always just stick the tires back on afterwards. Okay, this one's actually not looking so bad. We might use this as the first one. I know we have this giant door thing here, but actually what we could do is we could go back and actually add the doors in and just have that as part of the bodywork, and just have basically this front and rear section and treat that as if that's the car. So on the Wombat Customs, I guess at this point we should just change the paint color here. I'm going to go from matte yellow, and then we're going to match it on the other one as well. So let's just go for matte yellow, and then jump into the customs for the Desert Raid. Go to paint, primary color, matte, and get that matching in yellow. There we go. Then on the extras, I'm actually going to put the wheels back, which is actually going to, for the time being, put all the bodywork back. Oh, that's nice. He's just sticking out the front there. It looks like he's got big cheeks. And then we'll just go to doors again, and I'm going to get rid of the hood and the trunk. So we could keep the doors in. I guess that kind of works in a way. Sort of. It's a bit weird, but it kind of works. Okay, never look on the interior of these, because the interior mismatches, and you're never going to get this lined up. So we always have to look at this from the outside. I think the thinness of these cars might be the problem here, but having this sort of door section at least makes it kind of logical. See, what we could do is we can go to the Wombat and go to customs and go to the door section and get rid of doors on that one. So I could, for example, get rid of the passenger and driver doors here, and that still fits in. If we were to remove the rears, it doesn't really work, but I guess... Oh my god, what is going on at the back here? It does make it look a bit more raw. I mean, we could even do this and actually have the engine showing as well. And the trunk to show that. I kind of actually like that as a look by making that really bare bones. It does kind of mix in and match. So that means that now we could jump in the door like that, get in the car, And I mean, it actually looks like we're sat in the car. Very close, because the seats aren't that far off from each other. Do you know what? That one actually looks alright. It looks sort of like hillbilly redneck mechanic style look. But actually, okay, as this is an Australian car, this is the bogan mechanic look. I think this is interesting and it sort of works. In a weird way. Well, there we go. That's definitely a massive change on the old Wombat. So let's try the next one. I think the Tanager is going to be way too small, but we'll give it a try. And yeah, it's way too small. It's never going to work, is it? And here is the Loretta, and I have a feeling this one's not going to fit well. It might somewhat fit, though. This doesn't look too bad, actually. Again, none of these are going to fit lengthways just because of how long they are. But I think actually we could do worse than this. This isn't so bad. So I'm going to take the colors and just make this bright red on both the primary and secondaries, just because this line is not going to match through. So we have to make this all one color. And we'll do the same on the Raid to get that red as well. It's a shame we can't make the bars black and it's all just one color, but that's fine. And yeah, we could have this weird setup where the door is the same. Like, it just seems like we have like an extra strong door for the racing rather than it looking... Well, I mean, it does look out of place because of these bits, annoyingly. If we just had the door, it wouldn't be so bad. I have a feeling we might need to do the same here. And in fact, we could probably even put the wheels back. So by doing that again with this, we end up like this. So we still have the weird doors, but we do have the front end showing, and it does kind of work. And so if I get rid of the passenger and driver door on the Loretta, it doesn't look odd. It does work. I mean, what happens when we take the trunk out of this? I like that when we take the trunk out, we get to see that, but I do quite like it also being there as well. Same with the front end. It doesn't look out of place. But for this one, I'm actually going to put those back. But we will keep the side doors off. Now, in terms of fitment, I don't think we can really deviate much on what we've got here. Any higher and it starts to look a little bit out of place. And then any lower and it starts to look really weird. So we have to keep it at about something like this height, I feel. And so here is our second one done. These are very weird. They don't work perfectly. But do you know what? It is a look, and I kind of like the idea of using these as a basis for just sticking other cars on. I do think that is quite fun. So the PK is next. Let's see how this one goes. I have a feeling it's going to be too small, and I would be correct. But actually, scale-wise is not too far off of these guys. It might be okay. If we just jack that up to about there, that's not the craziest one ever. In fact, if we just drop that just a little bit slightly, just so we get more of that front window working and just sort of fitting in with the bodywork, yeah, that's not so bad. I don't know if we move this back, it might look a bit too odd on the front, especially because we've got this sort of front intercooler setup going, so we can't really have it any further back than this. So it is quite far forward, admittedly. But if we go for a worn black to get it all matching up... Yeah. It's an odd one. And it seems, once again, I feel like we have to go for the 2 spare wheels at the back and then get rid of the hood and the trunk and keep the door. Yeah. We're definitely... I kind of like this, especially if you have these as just a bunch of different ones for racing in. Just slightly different. They are quite fun. You know what? I am considering this one a success again, even though these cars are too small to actually really go over the main bodywork, which is kind of what I was hoping to do. I still think these are a semi-success. And so we only have 2 more, so let's keep going. I'm going to start with the pencil because I have a feeling that's going to be the smaller of the 2, and it's going to be less likely to work. And, well, actually, not so bad. Honestly, we do have this bit at the front, which means we are going to have to move this forward than we might want to. But we can jack this up here. It's a shame that we can't just keep the bonnet off. Actually, we could remove the bonnet, can't we? Or we do it like this and bring it up to something like that. This one's kind of interesting because it looks like the right size. It's a shame that these are so small. I tell you what I would like to see. I would like to see bare bones vehicles like this, where we just have like a frame and the wheels and everything else like that, just different rolling chassis that have removable parts for different wing sizes and all of that sort of thing, and different wheel lengths, and use that to then combine with pretty much any car in the game to then custom build your own wide body versions within GTA 5. That would be a very cool mod to see, basically as a mod that helps you then use this menus mod. This one's looking a little bit rough, admittedly. I think the only look this is going to get is if we get this down here. It has a sort of exoskeleton, and again, this one also has the options to remove bumpers, so that does add a little bit to it. Although I don't think the luggage rack's gonna fit this one. As we've not had a blue one, let's go for ultra blue on this. And then on the doors, what I want to do is remove the hood, as I kind of feel like this needs to have like a full exoskeleton style look to it. How does the trunk removal look? The trunk removal, it kind of works. Kind of works. And then for this one, I feel like I'm gonna not have the rear spare wheel things here, but I'm just gonna try and add back the doors. But it's okay. It doesn't really work because of this bar right here, which then makes it very obvious that there is another car underneath here. So I feel like actually we'll get rid of the driver's door on this one and just make it very weird looking. We'll match it with the ultra blue. But yeah, this one looks a little odd. But I am going to consider that a completed build. No. And it's crashed. Well, you know what, guys? I feel like that is a good place to leave it for today's video. If you've enjoyed this video, please let me know by rating, commenting, subscribing. If you watched all the way through the video, you can say crashed in the comment section below. You can also let me know which one of these builds you think worked, or if you've got any ideas for other mods or other cars in GTA 5 that you think would fit perfectly within those builds. Give me some ideas in the comments. Maybe I'll do some more videos on it. But that's it. If you just want to see more build videos, click this link on the screen right now that would take you to another video on the channel. But that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.